Welcome back, returning viewers and subscribers. We are going to be covering episode 6, The Flame of Tar Valon. Honestly, this is the worst episode yet. Where to begin? I think it's easier to begin just by saying that the only common thing that this show has to the books in the original story is the names. This has devolved into fanfic. And not very good fanfic at that. We are going to be getting into spoilers, although to be honest with you, I don't know how I could spoil this show any more than the creative team already did. If you don't want to hear them, now is your chance to go away. Episode 6 does start out with some truly beautiful cinematography. Where are we? Not the Shire. No, this is the backstory of the Amerlin seat. Siwan Sanche has a child with her father. Now, what's really confusing about this is supposed to be the city. You heard me right, the city of terror. That would be T-E-A-R. And in the books, this plays a very important role in the Dragon Reborn storyline. So one would have expected a somewhat developed city, small city at that, with a very active wharf with ships coming and going, not to mention something really important to the aforementioned Dragon Reborn storyline, the magnificent Stone of Terror. What is the stone? An impregnable fortress. As a matter of fact, it is so formidable that it has never been conquered or entered by an enemy, and it is said in the prophecy of the Dragon Reborn that he will crush it. Do you see anything around here that looks like a giant formidable fortress? I mean, there's like a big rock on a hill, but come on, that's a big rock. But hey, at this point, why the hell should we expect anything to resemble Robert Jordan's story? And Lord knows we don't want to upset showrunner Rafe Judkins. We don't want him to go on another Twitter tantrum, threatening fans with even more changes from the book. Yeah, that's a thing. The children's choir Disney World ride music that accompanies these scenes is too saccharine to take seriously. And we spend a hell of a lot of time watching Sanche's dad struggling trying to undo knots. Despite only being 8 or 9 years old and having no training at all, she helps her dad by channeling the one source, the power to untangle his fishing lines. Daddy isn't happy though. Why? Because a wise woman knows the breaking point of her line. Well, I'll do you one better. A wise showrunner would have known that an 8 or 9 year old girl would have been too young to channel the source. Girls would have to be in middle to late adolescence before that characteristic started to truly emerge. Not to mention, that is a very complicated weave. This is an 8 or 9 year old girl with no training. Ah, I get it. It's a intersectional insert. All of this idyllic scene with Papa is wrecked by the fact that somebody burned down their house. And there is some vague symbolism burned into the door. Blah, blah, blah. Precious, tear-jerking narrative. She's off to the White Tower. We jump to a scene of Moiraine in what we would guess to be the White Tower in her finest blues. Why every Aes Sedai needs to look like they could fit together in a box of crayons, I don't understand. This would be a good time to talk about how the Aes Sedai actually looked. I mean, could you imagine in a world where you're being hunted, hated, feared by people, that you would literally become the physical embodiment of the color of your Aja? Even while within the tower, they were able to signify what color they belonged to by the kind of shawl they wore. Now, there were, in some special occasions, dresses, robes that had more of an indication to that than that, but it wasn't like everyone just had their, I'm a yellow Aja, here's my yellow Kill Bill outfit, here's my green Oscar the Grouch outfit. No, it wasn't like it's being portrayed on screen. Again, this production, which cost so much money, has an element of off-Broadway play. What am I talking about? Am I just being a dick? No. The slow walk by the Amerlin seat into that chamber has a book reader. You remember that very frequently important scenes took place in her personal chambers, in her office, with a particular style of furnishing that indicated it was her personality and where she came from. The character of the Amerlin seat in the books is a no-nonsense, brilliant tactician, not an imperious Disney princess. The scene that we're seeing in episode 6 offers spectacle, makes it look kind of Game of Thronesy, I guess. What using these large, bland sets with not a lot of people does is make this look, in my opinion, cheap. The tower was bustling with hundreds of Aes Sedai, as well as accepted, not to mention countless novice. The omission of scenes that show the tower as an active place of training truly makes this feel cheap and like a very small world. And before everybody starts hammering me in the comments section, I know that their numbers had dwindled. However, this still would have been a busy place with people coming and going. Remember from the books, all of the people from the surrounding nations came for advice from the Amerlin. And honestly, I'm not sure if they were using a Steadicam or a drone, but the cinematography of when she walks into that chamber and then they go up and overhead, it is jerky. And it just goes on and on with this wedding ceremony. No, I'm sorry, this is Wheel of Time. With the Amerlin seats procession, so regal, like a queen, so not like in the books. Do you remember how she was in the books? Very matter of fact, very salt of the earth when it came to dispensing her wisdom and making judgments, a shrewd and brilliant tactician. Even when she visited Camelin, oh yeah, all of that's gone. Remember that scene where an arrow was shot? I mean, how could you? They skipped all of that in this adaptation. But really, who's breathless with anticipation? Moiraine. She looks like she's gonna cry. I am not even 10 minutes in and I can see God, what people were hinting at in my comment sections on earlier review videos. Logain is brought forth. Oh, Landrin, she does not like when her captives are unchained. Logain does a major exposition dump where little pieces of the story, I'm going to be really generous, are jammed in. The gist of which is that the tower has been growing weaker over time, which is in fact true. However, the Logain we're being shown on screen in no way resembles the Logain and what happened to Logain in the books. We were told secondhand of a trial that occurred at the tower. Once Logain was stilled, he was not treated as a prisoner to be tortured and mocked. He was allowed to roam freely, and actually, the Amerlin seat and the other Aes Sedai pitied him. One thing that's undeniable about the identity politics, intersectional feminism, and neo-Marxist talking points that are inserted into this show, it's that men need to be shamed, mocked, weakened, blamed, and made examples of. In other words, a lot of the people on the creative team had a lot of serious daddy issues. In this adaptation, the Amerlin seat is sadistic. She goes on about how Logain is going to be made to suffer. All this dialogue, that man deserved a fair trial, not battlefield justice. This is not what happened in the books. Logain was brought, there was a trial, which was not shown. Logain was stilled, which was not shown, and the story continued to do in Robert Jordan's books to focus on the Emond's Field 5 and what was going on with them. And apparently they're going to have Logain begging to be killed. Kill me, please, kill me. You know, I felt that way about episode 3, but here we are. Just the way that Landrin, Moiraine, and Alanna approach this throne in this circle of whatever, I don't know, gender studies professors that surround this whole ridiculous. Obviously, this is all to make up for the fact they skipped Caemlyn and omitted Eladia. They're setting up Landrin to fill the role that I'm guessing Eladia would have filled in the future. This is just an unending passive-aggressive women's studies conference where I guess all of this manufacturing of this false narrative within these characters to create tension only makes it look petty and cheap. This entire thing feels like something that you would be bored at off Broadway and go outside maybe to get a drink across the street. Whoa, wait, what? Are they really doing this? Are they really making it so that the Amerlin seat, the long-time friend who came up through the blues with Moiraine, is putting her in this position of imperious questioning? What the hell am I watching? If you've read the books, this could not be further from reality. On your knees? The Amerlin seat is telling Moiraine on your knees? Holy cow, we have class warfare going on here. The Amerlin seat doesn't like the fact that Moiraine was a rich girl. What am I watching? What is the point of this? Oh, yeah, that's right. This is a platform for neo-Marxism. Class warfare. This is my tower? The Amerlin seat's waving her finger in the air going, this is my tower. Who wrote this complete and utter travesty? Is this some kind of bizarre mommy fetish thing here? Honest to God, I didn't think after 5 that this could go any... This is horrifying. This is my city. This is my world. What kind of intersectional bullshit is this? Oh my God. She tells Moiraine to remember that when her forehead and lips touch this marble, that it is hers, the Amerlin seats. Rafe Judkins, Amazon. This is not Game of Thrones. What you're doing, it's juvenile, and the narrative you're pushing is absolutely detached from any reality related to the material that you bought. You know, so many people in my comments section for episode 4, episode 5 have said it was the episode 6 that broke them. My reactions are not being overly dramatic. I'm just flabbergasted here. The Amerlin seat was a manifestation of the mature feminine energy within Robert Jordan's world. She was not this vindictive, haughty, regal Disney princess queen who needed to humiliate and deconstruct another Aes Sedai. So what do we have on screen? Obviously, this is reflective of the values of Rafe Judkins and his writer's room. This is how they view the world, and they needed to shove it into this adaptation. You beg your mother for mercy? What kind of bullshit fetishism is this? Oh my God. I mean, is this really what we're gonna do? We're gonna do this on-screen fetishization of everything that happened last year with those air quotes fiery, peaceful protests where people had to get down on their knees? This is what you're doing to Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time? You want a virtue signal on social media? Do it. Keep crazy neo-Marxist bullshit out of our science fiction and fantasy properties. And let me tell you what, I am 100% sure when Lord of the Rings drops that they spent $1 billion on, it's not going to be any better than this. Everyone in that writer's room, I know now how you got your job, and it obviously wasn't based on your ability to write. I would really love to see the true Simba TV numbers representing who actually stopped watching after a certain episode. I would bet real money that after this, not even making it through episode 6, that you lost a whole hell of a lot of people. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a whole lot of normies who just want some third-rate photocopy of Game of Thrones nonsense. But that's going to be it. This is about all I can take. This is going to be part 1 of my episode 6 review. Anyone watching this video, please leave me a comment if you think what we're seeing on screen is true to the character in the books, is true to what happened in the eye of the world when Moiraine came back. As ever, this is Salty Texas C. I am Corey DB. I appreciate your subscriptions. It means the world to me. Thank you. Thank you for the comments. I am working very hard to bring other people in to do live streams with me, and I totally appreciate you joining them. If you are a returning viewer, please consider giving me that subscription. Regardless, you have an awesome day.